Ano ngayon kung halimbawa tamaan yung mga ibang tao sapagkat ito naman ay pagsasalaysay ng kanyang buong nalalaman. Ito po yung hindi ko maintindihan, Mr. Chair. Why is the Department of Justice at some point is interfering in the proceedings of this committee? The problem is there is a prosecutor general who is not very interested in prosecuting people. He's very selective, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, whatever limitations there are to the testimonies of this witness who is present here is not something which is being dictated by the Department of Justice, but by law.
Tinatanong lang namin, magkano ba lahat? How does provision apply?
Mr. Chair, any matter pertaining to the...
No. I'm not talking about any matter. Senator Kiko and myself is only trying to extrapolate gaano ba kalawak the magnitude of this whole thing para magkaroon lang kami ng mental picture about this.
To explain that, Mr. Chair, if I
How
may be
can
allowed.
that provision apply? Why would you limit the witness from telling at least an idea of how much it is?
Senator Marcoleta is recognized.
Salamat, Mr. Chair. I was a little bit excited this morning, Mr. Chair, nung makita ko yung 7th public hearing dahil nakita ko dun sa witnesses and resource persons. Yung new invitees is Congressman Ferdinand Martin Romualdez Sr. Only to be disappointed na hindi ko po siya nakita ngayon. And I also note, Mr. Chair, na ginamit po niyong basis, yung sulat po sa inyo ni Speaker Faustino Bojidi. Mr. Chair, hindi ko po masyadong makuha ang ibig sabihin ni Speaker Boji ng ito ang ginamit nila na para hindi padaluhin ang mga miyembro ng House of Representatives, subjecting them to a simultaneous legislative inquiry on the identical subject could potentially prejudice the findings of the ICI. Pasensya na po, Mr. Chair, pero hindi ko po talaga maintindihan yun. How can the findings of the ICI be prejudiced by their presence here? As a matter of fact, kahit na identical pa ito, ang atin pong mandate is in aid of legislation. And the ICI, I don't know what is their mandate. So, hindi po siya siguro justification. As I said, I was excited, pero ngayon po, kasi mas maganda sana kung nandito siya. It could have been more substantial sana. Having said that, Mr. Chair, siguro, isang araw na-process na natin ito kung ano ang dapat gawin talaga sa mga invitees na to. More particularly, the members of the House of Representatives that were initially mentioned at some point in several testimonies of the respondents that were invited by this committee. May I now proceed, Mr. Chair, to Engineer Bernardo. Kagaya po ng napansin sa pagtatanong ni Senator Kiko, ako din ay ganun din ang aking observation. Merong bahagi ng iyong salaysay na talaga namang very, very descriptive, talagang even the minutest detail. Ito'y mapapatotohanan sa dami ng mga pahina at mga saknong na binanggit mo. Kung halimbawa pag-uusapan, Senator Jingo Estrada, Senator Ramon Rebillan, talagang, kumbaga sa comics, wala ka nang hihilingin pa. Nandun na lahat. Pero pagdating sa bahagi ng mga congressmen or congresswoman, tipid na tipid ka. Halimbawa, yung Congressman Saldico, wala ka man lang sinabi tungkol sa magkano ang hiningi, ilang projects ang napunta rito, ilang porsyento. Kung paano mo dinescribe yung mga naunang senador na binanggit mo, iniisip namin ni Senator Kiko na dapat ganun din sana. Sa ganung paraan, makikita mo talagang walang pinagtatakpan, malinaw na ibahagi mo talaga yung nalalaman mo. lalong-lalo na sa'yo, naintindihan ko sa tagal ng iyong paglilingkod sa DPWH, ikaw ay sagana na sa karamihan ng eksperyensya at pakikipag-ugnayan sa maraming tao, kaugnay ng iyong trabaho. Ito po, Mr. Chair, litaw na litaw, binanggit tatlong congressman and congresswomen dito. Talaga pong napakatipid po ninyo. Sa makatwid, dito lang po ay kung ako ihahatol dito, meron po kayong deliberately na parang hindi na gusto pang ihayag yung maaring nalalaman po ninyo. Kaugnay po nito, Mr. Chair, nung tinatanong din ni Senator Kiko, kahit na mathematical lang or arithmetical estimation, kung talagang napakahalaga po nun eh. Initially, ito po yung mga nasa notes ko din. Nagkakaisa pala kami ng direksyon ng pagtatanong. Bakit kinakailangang sangguniin mo ang abogado mo at pagkatapos ay makikipag-ugnayan ka kay Prosecutor General? First of all, Mr. Chair, I want to know if the Prosecutor General was invited in this meeting.
May I respond, sir?
Yes, PG Padula.
I did not receive any personal invitation, Mr. Chair, but I was directed by the Secretary of Justice to appear in today's hearing to represent him, sir.
That is my problem, Mr. Chair. Ito po, nalilimitahan yung kakayahan ng committee ito na magpahayag ang mga respondents. Katulad nung tinatanong ni Senator Kiko, at yun yung gusto kong maitanong, bakit kinakailangan po na pigilan siya at some point on the things that he might be able to shed light to this committee? Ano ngayon kung halimbawa tamaan yung mga ibang tao sapagkat ito naman ay pagsasalaysay ng kanyang buong nalalaman? Ang totoo niyan, indicative na sa mga ibang pinagsasabi niya rito na gusto niya talaga. Gusto niyang ihayag ang buong katotohanan. Pero dahil ba sa he is a potential applicant to Witness Protection Program, may influensyahan, malilimitahan ang kanyang exposure dito. Ito po yung hindi ko maintindihan, Mr. Chair. Why is the Department of Justice at some point is interfering in the proceedings of this committee? This is something that we should probably process. Kung ganun pala yun, hindi malayang supplemental affidavit ito. This is questionable to the very least. Ang sabi mo rito, Engineer Bernardo, statements of facts applicable to all. Sa Tagalog, pagsasalaysay na applicable sa lahat. Tama. Hindi kita narinig.
Sorry po, Mr. Chair. Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Kung ito'y pagsasalaysay ng applicable sa lahat, katulad ng binabanggit mo sa paragraph 9, I can confirm based on my personal knowledge that in some form or another, on various extents, most proponents have their own designated contractors who will take on the projects for the former's benefit and advantage. Sometimes other proponents would request me to suggest contractors for them who are known to me or referred to me by friends and other personalities. These are situations that national and local elected politicians would request me to source projects for them. Di dapat ihayag mo rin lahat. The problem is, there is a prosecutor general who is not very interested in prosecuting people. He's very selective, Mr. Chair. This is something that is objectionable.
May I be allowed to respond, Mr. Chair?
You may respond.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I take exception to the observation of the good senator that the Department of Justice is interfering in the investigation being conducted by the committee. In fact, Mr. Chair, whatever limitations there are to the testimonies of this witness who is present here is not something which is being dictated by the Department of Justice, but by law that is covered by Republic Act 6981, particularly Section 7 thereof. It is not our intention to restrict his testimony, as in fact,
For
he
our
said-
education, kindly tell us what section 7 is about.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Section 7 of RA 6981 clearly states confidentiality of proceedings. All proceedings involving application for admission into the program and the action taken thereon shall be confidential in nature. No information or documents or given or submitted in support thereof shall be released except upon written order of the department and of the proper court. Any person who violates the confidentiality of said proceedings shall upon conviction be punished with imprisonment of not less than 1 year, but not more than 6 years, and deprivation of the right to hold the public office or employment for a period of 5 years.
How can that provision apply?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we believe it will apply.
How can it apply? Tinatanong lang ni Sec Kiko, ni Senator Kiko, tinatanong lang namin, magkano ba lahat? How does provision apply?
Mr. Chair, any matter pertaining to the...
No. I'm not talking about any matter. Senator Kiko and myself is only trying to extrapolate gaano ba kalawak, the magnitude of this whole thing, para magkaroon lang kami ng mental picture about this.
To explain that, Mr. Chair, if I
How
may be
can
allowed.
that provision apply? Why would you limit the witness from telling at least an idea of how much it is?
Mr. Chair, in the earlier proceedings, the question asked by Senator Pangilinan was already addressed by this representation when we said that the witness may openly give a mathematical computation of what is based in the affidavit. There was no restriction given by the Department of Justice. I think that is on record, Mr. Chair.
Okay, why are you intervening?
Of the provisions of the law on confidentiality, sir, that is why it was referred to us. It was referred to us by the witness because he has
The
a
matter of
memorandum of
giving us an
agreement.
estimate is a confidential matter?
No, precisely, Mr. Chair. That is the reason why we had already acceded to the request of Senator Pangilinan.
Mr. Chair,
With the permission of Senator
Just a
Marcoleta.
point of information for our colleagues. Yes, actually, I precisely pointed out that it's already a public document that was submitted to us, and all that Mr. Bernardo would do is to make a mathematical computation of, or an estimate, diba? A ballpark figure of the amounts that may have been, total amounts that may have been involved, based solely, no, and within the confines of the affidavit, and therefore I was satisfied. But yes, and the DOJ said they will submit. They have allowed, or they will be submitting, or they have agreed that Mr. Bernardo, their witness, will be submitting and address my request.
may I continue, Mr. Chair? Mr. Chair, I'm surprised that an applicant to be processed under the WPP has the effect of limiting his testimony before this committee. This is a different matter altogether. Mr. Bernardo is being presented here. I think he was invited to shed light to the matters investigated in this committee. Whatever his use as a potential state witness, that is for the Department of the Justice to decide. Hindi dapat mag-conflict itong dalawang ito eh. Iyon lamang ang point doon, Mr. Chair. Parang ang nangyayari with the presence of the Prosecutor General here, parang nalilimita yung gusto naming malaman dito. Lahat ng itatanong namin, kinakailangan i-refer sa kanya. O parang ikaw ang director dito, hindi yung chairman. Ito yung parang inconsistent na nakikita ko. Let me continue, Mr. Chair. Engineer Bernardo, hindi lamang ikaw, kundi kahit na si Engineer Alcantara or even Bryce Hernandez and others, palaging binabanggit ang pangalan ni Saldico. Pati yung halaga ng pera, pati mga litrato ng pera na ito ibibigay kay Saldico, ito yung para kay Saldico. And for that matter, even the last witness presented before we adjourned, Orly Gutesa, connected also Saldico. Talagang maraming nagsasabi na talagay siya yung nasa center nito. And Gutesa did more. He connected the dots between Saldico and Martin Romualdez. Ang kinalulungkot ko dito, Engineer Bernardo, napakatipid nung pagkakalahad mo ng salaysay tungkol kay Saldico. Samantalang kay Engineer Alcantara, magkano na yun? 5 billion ang projects. At tinanong ka pa nga ni Engineer Bernardo, mahusay bang kausap si Engineer Alcantara? Mahusay naman po. Ang sabi ng chairman, tinanong ka, ano ibig sabihin ng mahusay kang kausap? Madali ka at saka honest kang mag-deliver ng, yun, di ba ganun?
Yes, Your Honor po.
Ayun nga po, bakit sa ganung exposure ni Saldico sa lahat ng transaction na pinag-uusapan natin dito, bakit wala ka man lang ng pension na konting detalye, Engineer Bernardo?
Mr. Chair, binanggit ko na po nung umpisa na wala po akong personal knowledge sa transaksyon nila. Sa totoo lamang po, sila po ang kausap ni Saldico. Hindi po ako tungkol sa proyekto. Wala po kaming pinag-usapan ni Saldico except for some projects po na pinapalo up lang nila for implementation. Pero yung ang sasabihin niyo po ay tungkol po sa mga porsyento or whatever, sila po ang nag-uusap doon. Hindi po ako, Mr. Chair.
Nagre-report naman sa iyo si Engineer Alcantara, hindi ba?
Nabanggit po niya, minsan nagdi-deliver siya, ganun, pero hindi po yung detalyado. I even don't know the projects that were being downloaded to by Saldico.
We'll give you additional 2 minutes, Senator Marcoleta, because your time is up. But you
Wala na ba?
we'll give you additional 2 minutes. Go ahead to pursue your point.
Salamat, Mr. Chair. Okay lang. Engineer Bernardo, tungkol dun sa pagkakaiba ng mga coordinates, dahil sa kaya nagkaroon ng konting problema, yung sinubmit ni Yusek Cabral sa Pangulo na naging basihan ng sumbong sa Pangulo was based on MYPS application. Tama ba yun?
Mr. Chair, as far as I can recall, meron pong MYPS na balita ko po noon. Yun po yung, Mr. Chair, may I remind the Honorable Committee that during the time that there was a submission of those reports, I was no longer active in the DPWH because I was then on leave before the submission, I think, or retired na po ako after that. So, hindi ko po masyadong, but I have talked to my people doon po dati, na nalaman ko po na MIPS po ang kanyang sinubmit sa Pangulo, doon po sa sumbong sa Pangulo. Yun lamang po ang binanggit sa akin.
So, na-validate mo rin naman na-validate mo naman na base sa pagtatanong mo sa mga dati mong kasama sa DPWH nang talagang na-submit niyang application sa opisina ng Pangulo ay yung MYPS.
Yun po ang sinabi nila, Mr. Chair.
At ang totoo, dapat na isinabit niya yung MPCA. Ano yun?
PCMA, but
PCMA, na ito yung, kung tutuusin mo, ito yung mas accurate sana.
with the Survey 123 coordinates po.
Yes, yung Survey 123, kapag sinama mo sa MPCA, mas lalong katanggap-tanggap yung magiging coordinates ng bawat project. Tama?
Ayun po, as far as I know, yes, Mr. Chair, yun po yun.
So, yung allocable na binabanggit kanina, na talaga namang yun, pang-alok talaga yun, ito'y inamin. Alam ito ni General Alcantara, nung tinatanong ko si former Secretary Bunoan, katabi pa niya si Yusek Cabral, inamin nila yung allocable ay inaalok talaga sa mga congressmen kasi doon nagsisimula yung deliberation. At noon ay sinabi nga na yung allocable ay nasa 350 billion kagad yun, given the number of the members of the House of Representatives. Over and above that, papasok yung leadership na another 100 billion. Kaya yun lang, 450 na. Pagpasok ng unprogrammed, another 150 billion. At katapos-tapusan nito, ito na yung bicameral na another 400 billion pesos. Doon na kwenta, doon sa pag-uusap na yon, Mr. Chair, na ang talagang nadadagdag pala sa original ceiling ng NEP ay at least 1 trillion pesos. Engineer Alcantara, nandun ka nung tinatanong ko ito at na-establish natin ang bahaging ito. Tama ba?
Yes, Your Honor po.
Salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Senator Bam Aquino is recognized.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman. Magandang hapon po sa mga kasama ho natin. Engineer Bernardo, yung tanong ko po ay tungkol sa proseso ng pagbabudget ng mga proyekto. No? Kasi ang alam ko ho niyan, kunyari, may mga local government officials sa tingin nila kulang ng hospital sa kanilang municipality. Maglalabi sa mga kongresista at senador, siguro po, pwede naman po i-push natin na magkaroon ng ospital dito po sa amin. Wala ho kaming ospital dito. Yun yung alam kong proseso. Pero dito po sa salaysay ninyo, parang baliktad. Parang kayo po, yung DPWH at yung contractor, yung nagbibigay o nagsasuggest ng mga proyekto sa mga lawmakers. Tama ho ba? Kasi parang ganun po yung dating. May tatawag, ito, may mga proyekto ko, ito na yung proyekto ninyo. Ganun po ba yung nangyayari?
Mr. Chair, if you will go to my attachments in my affidavit, there is a system workflow po dito na makikita nyo po na simula yung mga local government officials and then yung pong ating mga ibang mga nandito sa baba have been proposing projects for the regional development councils. So, yun po yun na hindi naman po ganun pangkaraniwan, although minsan po nangyayari po siguro yung binabanggit ninyo na naaalok ng na gusto mong pagawa yung ospital. Pagka po mga kaibigan nila yung representatives or meron po sila dun sa RDC and they want to be funded. Yun po yung ganun.
So, ibig sabihin po, Engineer Bernardo, galing sa RDC yung mga proyektong ito?
Sometimes po galing sa RDC, but sometimes, sabi ko nga po sa inyo, of course, mga ospital po, when it's government hospitals, are really the properties or
example ko lang yung ospital, no? But ang tanong ko ay, saan nanggagaling yung mga proyekto? Mula ba to sa, kunyari, yung tamang proseso na RDC? Or mula ba ito sa constituents? Or galing ito sa mga DPWH at contractor? O halo-halo na po?
Halo-halo na po. Hindi ko po ma-distinguish, Mr. Chair, kasi nga po, meron pong malawak na universe ito ng panggagalingan ng request. There may have been some projects which are being lobbied in the department through Yuse Cabral to Secretary Bonoan. Meron pong contractor na inirekomenda sa congressman, isinama po sa listahan.
Okay.
Meron pong,
I'm going to ask your opinion here, at alam ko po opinion nyo lang naman ito. Kasi ang nangyayari po sa bansa natin, maraming infrastruktura, hindi po talaga maayos yung paggawa. No? May flood control sa wala namang flooding, may mga flood control sa may flooding, hindi naman sapat or hindi po nasa tamang standards. No? Nung nakaraang hearing ng DPWH, Yusek Bisnar was there, lumabas na 22 classrooms lang yung nagawa ng DPWH buong 2025 or up to October 2025. So nagtataka ako, bakit yung infrastruktura parang hindi siya tumutugma, no? Yung kailangan ng tao hindi tumutugma. At yung isang pag-iisip ko dito ay baka dahil hindi talaga galing sa pangangailangan yung ibang mga proyekto, galing sa anong porsyento ang pinaka madaling paghati-hatian, no? So, sa tingin niyo po, anong porsyento yung talagang infrastruktura na kailangan ng tao, gaya ng classroom, ospital, yung tamang farm-to-market road, yung tamang flood control, at anong porsyento yung talagang nilagay lang para pagkakitaan, no? Can you still distinguish that, Yusek Bernardo? Opinion lang naman.
Mr. Chair, medyo mahirap po sagutin yung tanong ninyo. I'm sorry po. But, however, sometimes, those who are proposing projects are dependent on the district engineers and regional directors. Kasi po, pagka po pinalalagay nila yung mga titulo ng proyekto, pag hindi naman po tingin ng DPWH, hindi naman talaga po pwedeng ilagay, hindi po nagiging priority. But definitely, it boils down to those na sa appropriations po nangyayari. So,
Okay.
yun nga po yung pinopropose.
So let's talk about priority, no? Kasi ito po yung haka-haka, no, ng mga tao. Sabi ho nila, yung classroom kasi, maliit yung kita dyan. Kaya hindi siya prioritized. Itong mga iba, nasa 25 to 40% ang pwedeng kitain, yan yung napaprioritize. Kasi nagtataka po ako, in the last so many years, napakakonti ng mga classroom na nagawa po natin. No? Talagang malayo siya sa hinahabol natin. So, naging ganun po ba yung pag-determine ng kung ano yung ginagawang proyekto? Nakadepende kung ano yung may kita at ano yung walang kita? O nakadepende po yan sa ano yung nasa sa NEP o nasa GAA o kung ano man? Kasi marami rin pong nasa GAA, hindi na naman po napapatupad, di ba? Yusek?
With regards po dun sa particularly DepEd projects, I think there is already an allocation for DepEd for the construction of classrooms in the NEP. So sila po yung nagsasabi nun, siguro po ang Appropriations Committee, ang nag-aalat po ng certain amounts for the construction of classrooms.
Pero hindi siya nabubuo eh. Nandun yung pondo, and every time we look at the accomplishment report, hindi talaga nabubuo. Kukunti lang yung nabubuo. In fact, for 2025, 22 lang out of 1,700 yung nabuo. No? So nagtataka ako, bakit yung ibang proyekto mabagal at yung ibang mga proyekto, hindi pa nga completed, nakatatak completed na siya? Yusek. Ano lang naman po to? Opinion nyo po ito bilang isang nagtrabaho po sa DPWH.
Mr. Chair, yung po bang sinasabi nyo yung complete classrooms or hindi po nakukompleto yung proyekto or kabuuan po ng pondo?
For 2025, as of October 2025, 22 pa lang yung completed na classroom no? Out of 1,700. And in previous years, marami ring anecdotes o maraming submission po sa amin ng mga LGU na mga classroom na hindi natatapos or hindi naman siya ghost pero hindi nabubuo. No? At yung sabi-sabi po on the ground is because hindi to naging priority ng DPWH kasi maliit yung kita dito. So, would you say totoo po yun o mali po yun? Ay, your opinion lang po.
Sa akin pong opinion, hindi po ganun yun, Mr. Chair. At doon po sa numero na binabanggit ninyo, hanggang sa ngayon po, kahit po wala na ako sa DPWH, hindi po ako naniniwala na ganun lamang karami ang eskwelahang natatapos.
Yun po yun. Nandun po kami sa hearing. Si Secretary Dizon mismo yung nagsabi niyan.
This is my opinion, Mr. Chair. However, we have here Director Danny Villa, who is in charge of Cebu. Baka po dyan lamang makita natin may mga eskwelahan pong natapos sila dahil po doon. At saka yung eskwelahan po kasi, medyo matagal gawin other than kwan. Alam niyo naman po, buildings po At the same time po, yan pong ganyan, DepEd po, usually, nahuhuli po sa amin ang download ng pondo. Because we need to coordinate really with mga, mga tao nila. Sometimes, validation po ng both, doon po nagtatagal. And remember, meron pong minsan, June na po nababagsak sa amin ng pondo.
So yan po yung sinasabi, yan yung rason
Yes
kung
po.
bakit
Isa pong
mabagal
reason.
yung paggawa. No?
Isa pong reason.
Yusek Bisnar was there in the hearing. Yusek, so October yon, no? Ito, ano na ba ngayon? November na. May update po ba tayo kung ilan na yung classrooms na nagawa? Hindi na po siguro 22. Siguro naman po dumagdag na.
I-check ko po, Your Honor, yung
Okay.
exact figure and we'll make a report, Your Honor.
So yung pagpa-prioritize, Yusek Bernardo, former Yusek Bernardo ng mga proyekto, kasi, di ba, sa isang lugar, how is the prioritization made? No? Meron namang, alam ko maraming mga proyekto lalabas yan sa GAA. So all of those will be funded. Pero pagdating po sa inyo, ano yung inuuna? Is it based on the RDC? Is it based on pinipressure kayo ng mga kongresista at senador? Ano yung rason kung bakit yung isang proyekto mas mabilis magawa kaysa sa ibang proyekto?
I think yung proyekto po sa amin, nung ako po ay undersecretary, hindi po dumidepende sa gusto naming matapos ito kaagad or meron kaming, ang amin po kasi, we rely on the duration of the projects itself, kung gaano po kabilis talagang gawin. Hindi po namin, ayaw po namin na ang project ay mabagal. In fact, nire-reward pa nga po namin yung mabibilis magpagawa ng mga district or regions. So, natatapat po siguro na yung mga proyektong iyon ay mahirap gawin, may complexity po ng paggawa. Kamukha po ng eskwelahan minsan, yung sinasabi ko sa inyo, buildings. Whereas yung pong roads, mas madali pong gawin kaysa sa mga buildings. Yun po yung nakikita namin. And as far as we know po, doon sa pondo po ng bawat distrito, we allow yung 30% po to be identified as local projects. While 70% of which, yung allocable pong tinatawag, we identify projects by proposing yung pong O1 and O2. Which is national roads and bridges, and then O2 po, flood control. Yun po yung aming prioritization ng projects.
Okay.
Ito po yung sinasabi ko na allocable.
Okay, thank you, Engineer. Dun sa 30% local, dun yung RDC?
No, Mr. Chair. Ang akin pong pagkakakuan is that the RDC, upon the identification of the RDC with the projects being proposed by the district and the region, wish list po lahat ito eh.
Yes.
Wish list. And those wish lists are being forwarded to the department through Jose Cabral, who later on identifies what are those projects that are really to be funded. Yun po yung ganun.
So, in-identify what are to be funded, and then babalik yan sa inyo, ano yung naaprubahan. Pagbalik po sa inyo, kasama na yung mga proyekto ng mga legislador at yung proyektong in-approve ng DPWH na we assume galing sa RDC.
Meron po ganun. Meron po namang, I think, meron din pong hindi nagagaling sa RDC. Hindi po ko po alam. But I may have to, I may have to correct my po.
Opo, it's
Pwede
okay.
po tingnan yun. Makikita naman
Oo.
po yung submission ng RDC within the wish list and those projects which were funded without the RDC approval.
Masasabi nyo ba yung porsyento po niyan? Ano yung galing sa RDC? Ano po yung galing sa other proponents? Kasi lumalabas po ngayon, di lang naman listador yung pwedeng proponent, no? So, RDC, other proponents, would you say 50-50 yan? 70-30?
Malaki po yung siguro yung sa RDC. Although, Mr. Chair, while those projects being funded are not RDC endorsed, later on, nagkakaroon po ng confirmation din ng RDC. Because those projects which were identified within the wish list are already okay na po yung dokumento, while those po na hindi na-identify na wala sa RDC are being taken back to the local government sometimes at saka po pinapatakbo din po sa RDC to get their approval.
Okay, so ang isang suggestion po kasi dito ay dapat lahat ng proyekto sa ating GAA ay dumaan sa RDC. Kung ikaw ay kongresista at senador, dumaan ka pa rin sa RDC. No, yan yung isang suggestion po sa amin. Would you think that would solve some of our problems pagdating sa mismatched infrastructure or maling infrastructure na ginagawa sa ating bansa? I'll also ask you, Sec. Bisnara. Go ahead, Engineer Bernardo.
I think it will greatly help po. However, meron pong minsan problema po ng national elected officials and local elected officials, yung pong ganyan. Maaari pong mag-ipitan sila. Pagka po may proyekto na hindi po na-approve ng RDC at nalagay po dito or nilagay po dito, maaaring harangin po ng mga local chief executive.
That's
so,
the
yun po
problem.
yung pwedeng problema.
Oh, yun yung problema. Yusek Bisnar, what do you think of that suggestion na kahit kami dadaan sa RDC? Kumbaga, maaga pa lang, kung may mga nagpaparefer sa amin ng mga proyekto, papadaan rin namin yan dapat sa RDC. At yung RDC may approval at yun yung lalabas sa GAA. Ano pong tingin po niyo?
I personally agree with that, Your Honor.
Engineer Alcantara, baka lang maka-add ka dito sa discussion. Anong porsyento ng proyekto po ninyo dumaan sa RDC? Anong porsyento po yung diniretso ng mga proponent?
Your
Masasabi
Honor,
niyo po ba?
Hindi po ma-determine, sir, kasi po yung wishlist, tulad po sa akin, pag nag-submit kami, normally, base doon sa needs ng tatlong congressional district. Normally po, ang dami po nun kasi wishlist nga po eh. So, mga 15 billion. Tapos, sasabit po namin yon. Pero central office na po ang mag-determine po nun kung alin po doon sa wishlist namin.
Yung, kunyari, nag-submit kayo ng 15, yung ibabalik ng central office, magkano na lang?
Normally
yung in-approve.
po, base doon sa kanilang matrix of allocable, tulad po sa amin, ang pagkakatanda ko lang po, siguro po yung tatlo po, isang I think 1.2, isang 1.9, siguro mga 4 billion out of the 15.
So malayo, no?
Napakalayo po.
Doon sa 4 na yon, kasama na doon yung may proponent na legislador? O wala pa doon?
Wala pa po, Your Honor.
Yung may proponent, in your experience lang po
Opo.
4 plus anong numero yan? Yung i-didiretso ng mga legislador po sa inyo o iba mang proponent po sa inyo? Aabot ng ilan?
Hindi naman po fixed. Minsan po, may 500, minsan may 250. Ganun lang po.
Million?
Opo, hindi po, sir, ma-determine. Depende po kasi sa may kausap po doon kay Kong Saldi. Hindi ko naman po alam kung
So, sa isang taon, 4 billion, ito lang, example lang naman to, no? Para lang meron kaming ideya. 4 billion yung ibabalik ng Central, galing yon sa wishlist ninyo na dumaan sa RDC. Tama, no?
Yes po.
And then may dagdag yan, you're saying hindi naman umaabot ng 1 billion. O lampas siya sa 4 billion.
Lakpas po. Kasi po, normally, Yung NEP po namin, minsan po maabot ng 10, doon po sa kabuuan.
So, yung galing sa proponent, quote-unquote,
More or less mga ganun po.
more than the
Six.
galing sa RDC na mula sa central na ina-approve.
Yun lang po yung sir, 4 lang po yung binabanggit ko na ina-approve
Oo.
ng Central
Example lang to,
Office.
example lang to.
Yes po.
And would you say, in your years of experience, ganoon yun, mas malaki yung ginagawa nyo na galing sa proponent at allocable kesa sa galing sa central at RDC?
Hindi sir, actually yung naging DA po ako ng 2019, hindi po ganun kalaki ang funding po namin.
Kumbaga nag-shift
Yes po,
yung porsyento
Nag-start lang po yan 2023, 24. And,
na lumaki, na mas malaki yung galing sa mga proponent kesa sa RDC.
yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so that's clear, Mr. Chairman, no? So, ang nangyari, sometime in the past 2 or 3 years, dumami yung mula mismo sa mga legislador or sekretary or kung ano man, kung sino mang proponent, dumami kesa dun sa dumadaan sa yung sinasabi nating tamang proseso na Regional Development Council. Tama po.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and the shift happened what year?
I think 2023 lang po nag-start
Na nagbago ito?
Yes po.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Alcantara. Let me ask Yusek Bisnar. Oh, hi, Yusek. I'll also be asking Attorney Fadulyon, no? Baka, yes. So, Yusek Bisnar first. So, ito pong last time tayo nagkita, nangako po si Secretary Dizon ng Transparency Portal. Is this already operational?
It will be launched very soon, Your Honor.
Ano yung very soon, Yusek? Within the year? Within the month?
Definitely within a month's time.
Okay. At yung lalamanin po niyan, yung mga kontrata ng gobyerno. Tama po, no? From all the districts.
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Kasi mahalaga yung move na yan sa taong bayan. Makita natin na may pagbabago sa sistema. So, before the end of the year, ang pangako po ninyo noon, nung hearing, at inuulit po ninyo, ay maglo-launch kayo ng transparency portal na kung saan makikita lahat ng mga kontrata ng lahat ng mga distrito ng DPWH.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, and that will be a big step. Wag sana pong ma-delay, no, yung pag-launch po niyan. Attorney Fadulyon, kayo po ang representative ni Acting Secretary Vida. Am I right, no?
That is correct, Mr. Chair.
Can you give us an update? If I'm not mistaken, yung presidente po, the president said, was it yesterday? May press ko nata siya. Sabi niya na many of these cases will be filed within the month. Is that a correct assessment? Baka po you can give the public an update, no? Marami pong nagsasabi over 100 days na, marami ng bagyong dumaan, marami na pong nangyari pero parang hindi pa gumagalaw ang mga kasong ito. Can you give us an update with regard to the cases and an update kung magkano na po ba ang na-recover natin na perang nanakaw sa bayan? Sige po.
Mr. Chair, as we can give an update as far as the cases which are being investigated by the Department of Justice. So far, we have 5 cases right now which are undergoing preliminary investigation. And if only to add, earlier there was a question by Senator Erwin Tulfo as to what can be done to prevent the departure of prospective respondents who are charged or involved in the flood control projects. We can apply during the course of the preliminary investigation for a provisional precautionary whole departure order with the courts to prevent them from leaving the country during the course of the investigation. Now, going back to the cases, Mr. Chair, the 5 cases are going to start preliminary investigation today, and we hope to be able to finish the results of the investigation by mid of December. In the process also are cases which are being evaluated. We have about 6 or 7 cases which are being evaluated now.
So,
This does not include only DPWH officials but also proponents.
marami hong lumalabas na bagong impormasyon, no? Tama po.
Marami pong
But-
lumalabas, Mr. Chair.
We're talking about the information you have already. Kasi nagsimula po itong hearing, 2 buwan na po siguro. You also started your investigation. Si ICI, more than a month na rin po sila. Are you saying na yung unang paglabas po ninyo ng mga charges ay December pa? December pa po ito?
It most likely will be, sir. And if I may be allowed to explain. Ang
Sige po.
dahilan po niyan, dahil sa totoo po na nagsimula yung investigation dito, marami po mga pangalan na binanggit. Pero hindi naman po nangangahulugan na dahil ito'y may mga pangalan na nabanggit dito, whether they are DPWH officials or members of Congress, automatically we can charge them. We have to be able to get evidence and gather evidence that we can sustain hanggang makarating po ng husgado. Kaya nga po yung proseso ng pakikipag-usap sa mga testigo ay patuloy po namin ginagawa. And there are developments which come up every time we talk to them. But there is also a requirement in the law which says that kahit na mayroong testigo na lumantad, kailangan po kayang i-corroborate, no? Meron pong magsusuporta, hindi lamang po yung sinabi ng taong yon. Kaya ang nagiging dahilan kung bakit tayo naaantala is because hinahanap po natin yung corroboration para doon sa mga tao na nagbibigay ng kanilang salaysay sa Department of Justice.
Tama naman po yan na kailangan po maghanap talaga ng corroborating evidence. No? But alam nyo naman po na in the next few weekends, may mga rallies po calling for further action or action on the part of the executive pagdating po dito po sa nangyayaring investigasyon. Alam nyo naman po yan, di ba?
We are aware of that, Mr. Chair. However, we stand by the position that we cannot sacrifice the quality of the cases for expediency.
Opo. So, the last time we had a hearing here, yung nabanggit po was 60 days. 60 days is I think this week. Ngayon po you're saying kailangan ng isa pang buwan.
Sir, yung binabanggit mong 60 days noon, 60 days po from the inception of the preliminary investigation. Yun po ang takdang panahon na ibinigay sa amin. Yung pag-gather po ng ebidensya, pag-build up po ng kaso, ay hindi po sakop noong 60 days na sinasabi natin. So, kung tutuusin po, ngayong hapon, magsisimula po yung pagdinig ng 5 kaso na final ng Department of Justice at bumibilang na po, tumatakbo na po yung 60 days niyan. Kaya sinasabi po natin na by first week or probably the second week of December, we will or we may have resolutions already to these cases.
Opo. Napansin niyo po parang
Senator Bang,
malungkot.
kindly
Just to
wrap
wrap up, opo.
Yeah, you can have additional 2 minutes if you want.
I'm wrapping up, Mr.
Alright,
Chairman.
thank you.
Siguro po napansin po ninyo na malungkot ang Christmas ng mga tao, no? Mahirap po magkaroon ng Christmas spirit ngayon. Tuloy-tuloy yung mga bagyo, mga typhoon, mga sakuna. Of course, maybe in the second round, we can talk to our friends from Cebu. Pero yung isa rin hinahanap po ng tao, hustisya. No? So, we will hold you to that, Prosecutor General, that there will be a resolution to these cases by the middle of December. Tama po, no?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Right. Maraming salamat.
Titiyakin po namin na itong mga kaso na to ay ma-resolba at yung ibang kaso pa po na patuloy na iniimbestigahan ay maisasampa at mai-refer na rin sa Office of the Ombudsman.
Before the end of the year.
Before the end of the year, Mr. Chair.
Alright. Maraming salamat, sir. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman.